Okay, guys. So far, whatever the questions you did, what I'm gonna do for the next 2 days, because a lot of you guys are taking the test on Wednesday, and some of you guys are taking the test on on Saturday. So whichever the way you guys are taking the test, and whichever the day you guys are taking the test, and please let your teacher know that you're practicing for the PSAT or the MSQT. They kind of like okay with you submitting your assignments a little bit late. So please use and tell your teacher, because as a teacher, if somebody comes telling me like, hey, Mr. I have a test coming up, I'm going to study and then I'm going to submit your homework later, they're okay with that. So what I mean to say is stay focused more to your test on the either Wednesday or Saturday, and then your schoolwork. But luckily, if you're on a fall break, then you have a good day, and it's really good. So you have more time to study for the test and then practice test. And then I will be sending some practice tests along with that, and also some techniques we're going to talk right now, and we will do that reading and writing portion in a minute. But I want you to stay focused with some techniques that we need to get through this, so that way you guys are feels more comfortable and when you take this test. Okay, so first of all, when it comes to the test wise, and take it seriously. Okay, so take the test seriously, guys. So some tips or techniques, whatever, and tips. So take the test seriously, seriously. And what does that means is, don't take it easy. Don't go for that test like, oh yeah, I want to just whatever choose it. So please take it seriously and take the test that's going to be your last time. Okay, what I mean is, like, you put your heart and soul for the test, and you read them carefully each question. And also, when you put your brain, there's like, okay, this test is important for me, and then obviously you're going to do well with the test. Okay, the next one, know the test. Know the test. Yeah, all right, thank you. So know the test means is basically familiar with the structure of the test. So structure of the test means is basically, I know whenever you take this PSAT or the MSQT, you have a reading test. Okay, and then you have the writing or the language arts and whatever you call, and then math, and then the no-cal. First is no-cal, and then math, and then cal part. Okay, so there are 4 sections: reading, writing, math, no-cal, and math with the calculator. Okay, so you know what's coming next. That helps you to understand, okay, what's coming next. I know after this one, I'll be doing this one. So be familiar with that too. Okay, and the next one is what I can say is, like, if you look at the test, they are pretty long for sure. Agree? The test is very long, but there are 139 questions. Okay, and then it's going to be, your time is like close to 2 hours 45 minutes. Okay, so total questions are 139 questions, and you have the time is 2 hours and 45 minutes. So you know your timings, and then you know what is the how much time you need to, so that way you can get an idea. So knowing your test and knowing what you're going to face, it helps you, and then you're more ready for this. Okay, if you have a question, please put them in the chat box. I can just see, and then I can go back and then tell you what it is means. Next, practice like a real thing. Let's say if I send you some practice test, right? Practice test. Just take this practice test just like you're taking the real test. Okay, practice like a real test. So when I send these practice test papers, and you just put to your brain that, like, okay, this is my final exam, or this is my test I'm going to take. So put that out there. That way you can see what's mistakes you're getting, and then what's you need to focus more, and all those things. Okay. And obviously, next one is the reading part, or those. There are a lot of the reading in there. Okay. So what I can say is, when you're reading stuff, make sure you're putting the focus. And especially when it comes to the test, sometimes we go with the, what do you call, you daydream. What does that mean is basically sometimes kids I see, they start the test, they read the passage, as they go through, and all of a sudden they lost. They're thinking something else, and they're probably thinking like, okay, something else, and then you have to stop. Okay, you have to think, and if it's something like, if you're dreaming, going on a different topic, or your thoughts are going somewhere else, bring them back and stay put a focus. Okay, so that's another really, really important thing that we need to take care of that. And next one is when it comes to the math portion, I want you to guys familiar with what formulas they provide you. Okay, formulas that provided you. Formulas is what you have. So when you take the test, and you have some formulas already with you, okay? And in case if you need to use them, make sure you know them, and then you can, pull them back. So every test, they give you some basic formulas. And don't think that those are all that you needed, okay? And you might need some other formulas too, but basic different sheets will be at the front of the page. So make sure you guys are looking at those formulas as you go through too. Okay. Next, make sure when you guys are going to the test, you have to have your admission ticket or ID. You need to have those both, your hall ticket or admission ticket and your ID. It could be a school ID or whichever it is. But if you're taking the test in your school, that's a different story. Okay, because you don't need any ID or anything like that. Just like the teachers know it, and your call your roll name, and then just they will give you that. But if you're taking on SAT on Saturdays, make sure don't forget your hall ticket, or whatever the admission ticket, and make sure you take your ID, as a school ID, whichever it is. Okay, so please make sure you have them. And another important thing, don't stress too much the day before. Okay, if you ask me, okay, Mr. Rama, should I, study just day before and then cram it on the whole night and sit down and read, or should I take a little good nap? I go with the good nap. Okay, the reason behind is, if you're tired and the whole night you study, the next day your focus level goes down. Instead of that, make sure you have a good sleep, and in the morning breakfast is lighter, not any burritos or anything related to the beans. It just upsets your stomach, so please don't eat that. So let's make it easy, something whatever you feel comfortable, but eat well, and then take some granola bars or whatever, or the peppermint, take it with you, and so that way should be good to go. Okay, and another important thing, accuracy, speed, and both. Look at them carefully, and focus on those little easy questions. Just like last one we looked into it, those what do you call, the infinite solutions. These are the easy questions. Don't miss them. Okay, and just get them, take them faster. All right, and those are the important ones. Also, another one, once you're pretty much coming close to the test, and then you have less like 2-3 minutes left, and by mistake you didn't do your completing, you still have a lot of the questions to do. Fill in the bubbles. Fill in all the bubbles. Okay, fill in all the bubbles, because there is no negative marks. It's okay to guess it at the last. and get it, complete them, all of them. We never know, right? You may get it, all of them correctly or some of them correctly. So don't leave them. You have to fill them, all of them, okay? Fill all of them. And also the next one is the write it on the booklet. It's okay to write on the test. You need to know, okay? It's okay to write on the test, not on the answer key though. Don't write on the bubbles sheet. You can write on the booklet where they give you the questions and then they give you an answer sheet separately. When you can write on the questions, but not the bubble sheet, okay? So you can write it down, you can circle some of them, you can eliminate whatever. And if you have something, okay, I think this is like, let's say your educated guess, like I think it's A or C, one of them should be my answer, my guess answer. So you can always write like that too. And you can just kind of like cross them out if you don't want it to. So do whatever you got to do on the booklet, okay? But be careful, don't write on the answer sheet. All right. And also, again, I think as I mentioned to you, eat a good breakfast, but not too much. But take some water. I think they should be allowed to take some water out there. So you can make sure they put the water bottles next to you, and their granola bars or whatever, so you can take them too. Okay. And what else? And you will get the scores in a couple of days or a couple of maybe 2-3 weeks, and then be patient, and then let's get through the what you call the scores as they go through. Okay, so that's the basically, guys, when you're studying for this test, just keep this in mind. Okay, do your best. That's the main thing. And then once you have that scores, and then we can start looking into the all these scholarships or whatever it pops up, and then you should be good to go with them. Good. Questions before I move on to next thing? No? Yes? Please feel free to. Yes.
Could you just like review just in quick what it is? Like just to make sure that I got everything.
Like some questions or topics?
Yeah,
What do you want me to?
yeah, the topics.
The topics. Okay, so the topics are basically, I think it's like whatever we did it so far, excuse me, it's always part of that test. Okay, and and I think let me get you guys quick topics. I mean, probably you guys can review before the test point of view. Let me see. Hold on a second. Up here. Give me 1 second. Okay, so when it comes to the test point of view, guys, first one is the reading test. The reading test, you have like basic passages. Excuse me. And then so different type of questions, and then you might need to pay attention to the dual passages. Okay, and because they give you the two passages and comparisons and all those things out there that you need to focus on. And obviously go over some, read them and passages and bring those answers out there. I'll go over a few more things in a minute, but and then when it comes to the writing portion, make sure you guys are let me see, what do you call it? Transitional verbs and verbs, pronouns, vocabulary, some other words. So practice those of what we did so far, all the techniques that we did talk about it, and then work on those things too. Combining sentences, adding and deleting in and orders, those things are also important. And when it comes to the math is basically pretty much everything. I mean, everything in the sense up to the algebra 2, basically. So you have functions, decimals, exponents and square roots. Exponents and square roots, we did those too. And algebra is like basically radical equations and rationals, and then solving equations, inequalities, What else? Expressions, quadratic equations, complex number system. What else? Some little bit of the geometry. You need to look into that mean, median, mode. On the geometry part, functions is like graphs, composite functions, slope, equations, and then like solving equations with two variables. And then a little bit of circles. Circles is another important one that you need to work on those two. And volumes, polygons. There are a lot of stuff in there. I'm recording because I'm not writing it, but again, I'm saying I'm recording, so I'll send you this record so you can go slowly and then look at them so that way you guys have an idea like what to look into that. Okay. Also make sure you guys practice some gradient. Gradients means like bubbling them and those things. So that way should be good to go with them. Since we don't, optional is essay is optional right now. I don't think anybody is taking, unless you want to take the essay part, it's up to you, but otherwise, I'm not sure how your school is going to be assess you guys do, but whichever essay is not a part of that, so you don't need to worry about it. But for now, that's one thing. But the 2023, they're going to be like next year and then the year after that, the PSAT and all these, they're trying to do it on the digital, which means on the computer. Nothing is changing. It's the only thing is like instead of paper, you're going to take it on the computer. That's only the difference. It's not getting away or anything like that, but this still is be there. But 2023 or 2024, they want to apply to all of them. But 2023 is going to be like what you call the trial version, like they're going to check how the glitches or anything like that. So they're going to do it on the computer, and rest everything will be the same, and you will be taking in the school or whatever, Saturdays or whatever. But instead of paper, they give you computers. That's all. That's the difference on there. Okay. And but only thing is, good thing with the computers, they get the scores faster. Yara.
Also, what does the AC stand for again? On the below the fill in the bubbles, the AC.
Oh, this one is what I mean to mention for this AC is basically, let's say, elimination method or elimination or educated guess.
Oh, okay.
Okay. So let's say you have a couple of A, B, C, D, right? And then you're looking at these two. I don't think B is right answer, so you're gonna cross it out, and then or maybe D is not right answer. One of them has to be my answer. You kind of like write it on the booklet. You can write it as anything on the booklet. Okay, so you can just write it to the next to the question number 4. I'm thinking my answer is A or C. And when you come back and revisit this one, oh yeah, this A makes more sense to me, so I'm gonna bubble the A. You know what I'm saying? So that's what it is. Actually, I meant to put it up there. Okay, good to go. Makes sense, guys? Okay, so the next one, give me 1 second. I'm gonna pull out some other resources and we're gonna talk about a few more important things for the test point of view. Let's see. Any other questions for me? If you want to ask, please do so. And I really wants to guys feel comfortable, okay? And mostly, now you already have the idea of the test and all those things. Don't stress. And since today's Sunday, Monday and Tuesday, study as much you can. Practice as many papers you can, and check those answers. See if you can, use some techniques to do it faster. So those are the important things. You can look into that. And let me see what else I want to tell you guys. A few things I know I have somewhere. Give me 1 second, okay? Let me see. And also make sure you guys are taking your calculators. Don't forget it, okay? In case if you're using the like a little bit bigger calculator, it has some batteries in it. Make sure you take a extra set of batteries. I mean, like if your fate is not with you, if it is not a good day for you guys, sometimes I heard a lot of the kids say my calculator died on the test. I mean, so it could happen, but just safe side, get some set of batteries or change it new batteries. Just throw all those old ones out there and then put a new batteries in the calculator. That's a good way, so that way you're, eliminate that thing out there. And yeah, calculator questions, make sure you guys look into those too. And when it comes to the graphic analysis questions, guys, make sure you guys read the question carefully and make the connections between the graph that they give you and then what you have on the questions. Okay, so please be careful with them. And also just in coming to the reading part, and make sure you how to interpreting things and then draw some of the what we call the inferences, and make sure you have an arguments and narratives and what type of the essays are there. And also they give you some graphs and tables, how to interrupt the data and interpret the data to the new things, and then answering those questions. What else I need to tell you guys? And then when it coming to the writing one, make sure analyze the sentences. Okay. And also look at those paragraphs in terms of the grammatical or any corrections. That's what you have to check on. And also the tone of the passage and how this entire passage is developing from the beginning to the end. And also focus on the central idea. That central idea, whatever the idea, all the passages will serve towards that central idea. So keep that in mind, in terms of the focusing, like how the passage is building up there too. Okay, so that way you should be good to go with them too. Next, what else I need to tell you guys? Questions. Ask me some questions if you guys have anything, guys, please. Okay, please make sure you guys tell me. Okay, ask. If I know, I'll make sure I'll tell you that right away. But the other thing, guys, on the test today, like is on Thursday or whatever, or Wednesday, or on the Saturday. Okay, make sure you guys wake up early. Not too early, but again, wake up early. You have enough time to reach the testing center. If it is in your school, there's no problem. They will give you that time, and then they announce in the school classroom like, hey, those who are taking our juniors or all sophomores are taking the PSAT, go report to the gym or whatever. And then there will be teachers there. They'll take care of that. You guys, no problem. But if you're taking on Saturdays, you will be going to a testing center. Like it could be your school, it could be a different school. But if you go to a different school, make sure you have not driving conditions like Florida. Man, Arizona, no problem. We don't have any troubles or anything like that. But Florida recently, floodings and all those things, they might have shifted the test time. Okay, check that one before you get there. And be there at least 15-20 minutes before your time. Okay, so that way you have ease on and then go. And then I think I mentioned already, eat some good breakfast. Don't eat too much, or make sure you have that too. And this is important one. Sometimes I have heard from the students, they space out. Okay, they space out with the questions, or the brain stops. I mean, what I mean is like, you see a question, your brain literally, you're trying to do that problem. You did that one before, and then all of a sudden you're stuck there and looking at that question. Oh man, I did this one before. don't know what to do. Simply, best thing is take it easy. And then sometimes the anxiety kicks in. Like, you're kind of like rushing, oh man, the time is over, timing over, getting. So then you start panicking. So my simple suggestion for you guys, just close your eyes just for a second, and then take a good breathe, and then look at the question again. It's still difficult. Don't worry, go to the next one. And then hold on to that. Make a little circles or some note, so that way you come back and then check it out. Make sense? Take a deep breath, and then once you start doing the easy questions, your brain will, easy out, and then you start looking at the difficult question will come to the back on track. Okay, and then make sure you have take a jacket with you. Okay, sometimes testing center could be very cold. They won't change for classroom to classroom settings. Take an extra jacket with you. If it is too cold, you can put it out, if you not, just take it out, whatever. Okay. And also, don't worry about what the other people are doing. Okay, just focus on, stick with your plan, stick with your test, stick with your practice. That way should be best way to go with it. Okay. And then also, as I mentioned, right? And don't panic when the things doesn't go right. And some questions are tough, and don't panic. You give it a moment, do some easy questions, and then you should be good to go. Okay, good. All right, let's do a little bit of more techniques up here, and let's talk about it, and then we can look into those too. Continue on the verbs concept. But some of you guys are not taking the test, and even you also guys also, it's good to know whatever we discuss right now. But anytime I get you some practice papers or anything like that, just take it seriously. When you take it seriously, it makes more. You put that heart and soul for that, then it makes more easy sense for you guys too. Okay. All right, let's look into the next one. Ryan, can you please read this one for us?
Yeah, which is correct. It doesn't really matter now because I have been to mountaintop. It doesn't really matter now because I was on the mountaintop. It doesn't really matter now because I went to the mountaintop.
Okay. So tell me guys on the chat box, what do you guys think? Which one is the correct? And then okay. Good answers out there. So when I look at these three sentences up here, obviously this is a really famous quote or the famous saying by I think this is the by the king. And obviously, if you look at it, the B and C, it doesn't really matter now because I was on a mountaintop, or it doesn't really matter now because I went to the mountaintop. Those two is not inspiring. You know what I'm saying? They're not that inspiring compared to A. Okay, so if you look at this, Martin Luther King Jr., that's the last speech. That's the reason it's really famous. And then you see them on the tests. And the reason behind is, if you look at the tense, the past tense, present tense, future, that indicates really plays a good role in these sentences here. Okay, so if you look at the past tense and present and future, they're all really important when you are speaking or when you're reading a passage of any time. Okay, now if you look at it, the first one, I have been to. Okay, So first one is I have been. This one is the to the mountaintop. It's a present tense. Okay, it's a present, or you can say it's like present perfect. Okay, it's a something that started as is being, it's just going on, but it's a consequential. Okay, aspect. If you look at it, it's a consequential. Like I have been to the mountaintop. Okay, but if you look at it, I went. Man, like it's a past. It's a simple. And like, oh yeah, I went there. Yeah, that's fine. But I have been to the mountaintop is like more inspiring. So it is really important when you're coming to these sentences. It's A's makes more sense on this in this situation. There's nothing wrong with like, okay, I went to the mountaintop, but depends on the passage reading. We're talking about the Martin Luther King Jr. He gave his last speech, and in this speech, it is really important that we are kind of like making connections to that passage as we go through. Okay, so it's the, if you look at this, the tense wise, it's the present perfect, or we can say it's like it's still going on. Okay, now when it comes to the aspect is of the verb is basically how the actions are extends to the subject. Okay, so aspects are basically this. See, the verb that is how the action is or the status of the extends. Like for example, have been, or I was, I went. So it tells you what's happening, or is this already one time happened? Or is this every time it happens? Or is this happening from in the past to right now? It's still happening. Okay, so those are the things that's really, really important when you look at it grammatical wise. Like for example, I'm gonna write it down some few things up here. Eyes on the screen. I eat. Okay, so I eat. It's basically, so it's a basically I eat means is basically you eat every day, right? It's a habitual aspect. It's a habit. Every day you're going to do it. I am in the habit of eating. So if I write a sentence like I'm in the habit of eating, it's a present tense, but again, it's a habit. Okay. If I want to use it, I am eating. I'm eating is I'm in the process of eating, basically. Okay. So I am eating means in the process of eating. Process of eating. So this is the progressive aspect. Okay, this is progressive aspect because this is happening. Okay, let's say if I want to use it, I have to eat. I have to eat is basically I feel compelled to eat. What this means, you know, it means it's a compulsive aspect in this case because you know your parents are saying like you better eat, like you know you have to eat. It's a compulsive. You got to do it because you feel compelled to. Okay, compulsive aspect. And then I can bring it. Another one is like I have eaten. So this one is my current status is consequence of the previously eating. You know what I'm saying? Understand this one? This is consequential, but the first, you know, like perfect aspect. I have eaten. Like my status is consequence of the previous eating. Okay, and then the next one I have been eating. So this one is the current status is it's a consequence of previously eating, but then I'm still eating. Means you started something in the past and it's still going. Okay, so it's a consequential and progressive aspect. Okay, so if you look at it, it doesn't really matter now because I've been to the mountaintop. So it is telling you, it doesn't mean that he went to the mountaintop, but again, in the what do you call it, the passage situation, and he's inspiring the speech. I mean, on that speech, you know, it's always look at the context. Okay, it's really important that you look at what context this passage is happening, or this is talking, or who's talking, who's ever talking. So please pay close attention to that too. Okay. Next, a little bit of the grammar. Present perfect. Present perfect is basically has or have plus participle. Like example is I have eaten. And then if I look at the past perfect, and then you will see in the past that's going to be had plus past participle. Like for example, they had never ride the bicycle, whatever. Bicycle. So this is had is in the past tense. And then future perfect. And then you see will have plus past participle. Like for example, by Friday, we will have completed the project. Completed the project. Okay, so those are the things you need to stay focused with these set tense wise to make sure you guys are paying attention to them too. That way, you should be good to go there too. And the other ones is like you have to be very careful with that. Is a historical fact or a general ideas also. Okay, so those things also need to be important for your in terms of that. And let's see. Before we move on, any other questions on the test point of view, guys? And we're going to go over a few more things, but questions, anything like that? Because I've been talking a lot, but I just want to make sure hear from you guys. Let's see. Let's check on a few of you guys. How you guys are going and how you guys are doing in terms. Let's see. All right, others. What is the status for you guys? Other, yeah.
I think it's going good for me.
Going good. Okay, so yeah, study a little bit too, everybody. You know, stay focused, and that's one of the reasons is sending the notes to you guys, so you can go back and then review them. Because if anytime you write on the board or something like that, we can misplace it. But with the portal, you have everything in one place, so you can always go back and then check what you needed to. Okay, so that's good. What else I need to check with you guys? Anything else? Am I forgetting anything for you guys? Or you need something? I'm gonna give you 30 seconds and think and let me know. Okay. Questions? No. Okay. All right then. Let's see. I need to give you guys a test also. Okay. Okay. So the other thing is like when it come back to the present and perfection, those things, when it says a consequential or perfect aspect, like it's always the have taken, had taken, will have taken. So you will see them together. Okay. Like for example, I have eaten means my current status is consequential of previously eating. Okay. And then if I say they have never smoked or whatever we say, the status is at a point the past was a consequence of the previous non-smoking history. Okay. Now, for example, if I say the last one we said by Friday we will have completed the project, means the status is by next Friday will be the consequence of the fact that we completed the project. Okay, so those things, please stay focused and read them and then go back and then check all those things too. And it should be good. Yeah, just study, guys. Okay, take some tests. I'll send you the practice test, so you don't need to stress too much. Just take it easy, you know. And also I want you to let you know if this is the best score you got, that's good. And I wish that is the best score, and you don't need to retake it. But if not, and you can't retake also, okay? So you can do the SAT a couple of times in a year, and you will only submit the best score that you wanted to, okay? Colleges doesn't look and go back and then, you know, research like what did you do or why you have a low score in this test and like that. They don't do that. They only do whatever they submit. You submit the score and you write the equation, write down the passage, your what you call essay to the college. Okay. If any of you guys are juniors or seniors, once you're done with the test, next thing is you focus on, especially senior year, you start focusing on your writing your essay, like how you present yourself to the college. So if you need some help, please let us know. We can help you with that also. Okay. How to write your essay for the college. We have really good teachers to help for the lot of seniors, basically seniors, because those are the ones that write the application for the college once you have these scores. Okay. All right. So anything else for me? No? Okay, guys. So I will be sending the notes to you. Make sure you guys study, and then you have 2 more days if you're taking the test. I'll put in 1 more practice test, and take a 3 hours of time from your schedule. Ask your parents to, hey mom or dad, time me. Or if you go to the student portal, you have a timer there too, and you can click on the timer and start the test. It tells you the test on like how much time you have for those questions, and put a timer for that time, or stopwatch, whatever on the phone, and take the test, couple them, so, and then go to the next part, put the timer again. Maybe you can take a like 2 or 3 minutes break in between, so that way you don't stress too much. And then complete the entire thing in 3 hours. You get to 2:45, like 2 hours 45 minutes. But take a 3 hours. Put that time aside. Ask your parents to time you, and that way they feel like, oh yeah, my son or daughter, and they're focusing too, and then they're happy to do that. And all, what I'm saying. So, and then once you're done with the test, go and then check your answers. And then don't worry if you get a wrong answers. And at least you did something. And then you know what you did wrong. And then you can go and fix it. And then next day, take 3 more hours and then try 1 more test. Okay. Just for if you're taking the test on Wednesday. Little practice. But again, we'll continue learning though. We still need to do a lot of the concepts, and then we'll, routinely, we can go back and then start again from the basics again. Okay. So our classes will continue. And, so take the test and done. It's just a 1-day test, whatever it is. Okay? I really don't want you to guys stress out. Just take it easy. It's part of the day, and breathe in, breathe out easily. Okay. Awesome, guys. And let's see, all the best to those who are taking the test on a Wednesday or the Saturday, and do well and tell me how that goes. Okay, and we can check on more. Socket, can you wait for a few minutes? And the rest of you guys are, or if you have a question, you can wait. Okay. Otherwise, have a good day, guys. Take care.
Bye.
Thank you. Have a good day.
Thank you, guys.